Yes, sir. This is a request in order to rezone approximately 34 acres from its mixture of RA and PD zoning to an all PD zone or for the unification and expansion of an existing mobile home park. This mobile home park's been in existence since approximately the late 70s, and then in 1997, a rezoning request added the PD portion that you see here on the property. You'll notice this property is within a rural residential area. However, the trending pattern for this particular east side of Valdell is also within the suburban area, more classified, both of which do recommend PD zoning. You'll also notice some wetlands on the property, which have been addressed throughout the years and plan to. And again, we speak about the history of the property. The portion to the south that you see on the left-hand side of your screen here, we have records indicating approximately 30 to 40 mobile homes throughout the 70s. And then in 1997, this was a conceptual site plan showing an additional 14 mobile homes. And then in 1998, you see an additional mobile home park here. Layout, staff was unable to find any sort of official approval records. However, the zoning does match this particular layout, adding a total of 72 units, bringing the overall existing mobile home park to approximately 100 to 110 total units. I say units because while the lot lines are depicted here, at the end of the day, these are all under single ownership. So the lot lines are just for reference points. Here's an aerial to kind of give you a general idea of the existing park with the 3 access points off of Val Way and Bell Circle. And then again, the build out that was permitted up to this point under the old plan. However, the applicant is proposing a new plan, reconfiguring most of those lots along Bell Circle and Val Way, for a total of somewhere approximately 155-ish units. Again, it's a little hard to see, and I understand. So I'm going to flip it real quick, just so you have a slightly cleaner picture, to get an overall understanding.
Can you go back one? So what is he going to do about all these mobile homes that are not fitting into this new plan?
They believe they will be phased in, if approved, for the build out to the east, which is on the bottom of your screen here. The mobile homes could be relocated into that section, and then the front section along Bell Way and Bell Circle would be reconfigured under a new plan. So a phased approach to development. But again, the applicant's engineer is here. Again, this is an overall plan development. Again, for reference purposes, you see lot lines. Realistically, this is what the park if approved may or may not look like. I know we had concerns and questions about total unit build out and accessibility. The applicant's engineer is here. We did receive a request to table this request moving forward, just so we can finalize any conditions, and staff has worked with the applicant's engineer. We have about 8 or 9 potential conditions, again, some regarding road width, egress, buffering, again, buffering probably being the largest one there, and then just a few other notes on the site plan. But overall, the TRC was at a recommendation generally for approval. Again, noting that there are a few minor discrepancies between 40326, which is the ULDC section governing mobile home parks, and 406 planned developments, and has talked with the engineer. And again, they requested tabling at this moment. So I just want to present it to you tonight if you have any comments, because this still will be heard by the Board of Commissioners on March 10th. So I encourage you, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, to at least bring them to me now so that I can bring them forward to the Commission for their March 10th meeting.
Who requested tabling?
The applicant.
The applicant, okay. I do have a major concern. So we're taking what, 3 or 4 points of egress and ingress down to 1? Is that right?
There's currently 2 shown here.
2. Oh,
You see
okay.
the main entrance here.
Okay.
And then the
Gotcha.
other 2.
Okay, sorry, missed that.
More than right, the point is more than one.
The back side, there's more than 80 units in the back, in this proposed back side. That is off of 1, 2. I'm sorry? That are off of 1 point of egress. And if you go back two slides to the previous design, there was 2 points of egress in this older design. And correct me if I'm wrong, for current subdivision development regulations in the county, you're not allowed to have more than 80 lots without 2 points of egress. 2 points of drive.
Subdivision.
I understand that's a subdivision, but still, 80 units, 80 lots, 80 homes,
Correct.
and here we're looking at potentially more than that, a density of higher than that, with only one,
Yeah, that concerns me.
yes, that concerns me greatly. And these roads are proposed to be narrower than standard development, subdivision development roads. I understand that given it is not a subdivision, so it doesn't technically have to meet that, but one of the things we have to be concerned about is safety and, you know, the means of egress that are coming into this backside are coming across a wetland. That, I mean, given the storms and the flooding and everything else that we've had, it just seems concerning to have one point of egress into all of that development in the back.
And again, this was discussed with the applicant's engineer, in depth for a couple hours on Thursday, with them. Again, roads, I'm gonna say roads, technically, maybe not, you can speak to that as well, would be 22-foot width, which is the standard, for a county road, whether public or private.
Okay.
So that was something that was cleared up. And again, fire did have a chance to look at this site plan, and again, noted some of the same concerns. Their biggest one, making sure the road width 22 feet would accommodate, which, again, the applicant's engineer is here, he can speak a little bit more, but that was discussed.
Do we have Bill come up?
Sure.
So,
Hey, yeah, one more question. Sorry, excuse me, I'm sorry, I beg your pardon. I hear all the things brought up by my colleagues, and I actually agree with them. So I just have a technical question. The applicant has requested this to be tabled.
Correct.
For what period of time?
They did not specify a period of time. The commissioners could table it for 2 weeks, assuming that the applicants could provide a site plan between now and the Board of Commissioners meeting, or 2 weeks after that. They could table it to a date certain. They could table it for 6 months, 30 days. It would be up to their discretion.
But last but not least, I think you mentioned that the commissioners, county commissioners, may not accept the tabling. They could rule on it as is. Is that right? Just a technical question.
Yes, sir, they could.
Okay, thank you.
So they have not said, that was my question, they have not said that they're gonna go along with the table.
They can't, just haven't had that much.
Okay, so we might be, if they not gonna agree to that, we might ought to throw our 2 cents worth in up front.
Well, it doesn't matter, it's not gonna be formal. Because it's, that, for our purposes, it's been tabled. So we can't rule on it.
No, it has not been tabled. We have to table it.
Oh, I thought he tabled it. You'd already tabled it.
Requested.
Oh,
Yes,
requested, I got you.
Table
Sorry,
by
I
the
misunderstood.
Which is no different than if he withdrew it, then
Yep.
it would be, you're right.
Yep, you are
Exactly
correct.
right.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
Okay, sorry.
We're clear.
All right, so on the tabling issue, that was me, because on Thursday, when we met a couple hours, and we're going through the list, and then when I left, I reached out to the applicant, the owner, applicant, and have been unable to reach him, and so on Friday, I was out most of the day, and I still had not heard from him. I thought these issues had to all be resolved before today, and there was no way I was gonna get it resolved from Friday at 3 o'clock to by 5 o'clock that day in order for you to have an updated site plan. So it was me who said, I think we need to table this. So whether we table it or not, that's entirely
Now it's a
on
new
me.
point.
Right. Right. So, let me go back through some of the questions. Okay, so yes, we're going from 4 entries down to 2. The owner, actually, for security purposes, he was hoping he could have everything off of 1 entry, because he doesn't want, you know, he wants to limit, he's gonna have cameras at these entries, and he's gonna watch who's coming and going in here.
He wants to make it safer for the residents.
Yes.
I got
He-
that.
If you, I mean, this isn't his only mobile home park. He does a great job. He is concerned about his residents and all. He wants them to feel safe and have a nice community to live in. But I explained, you're gonna have to have at least 2 entries, and he's okay with that. And I know we've already, one of the comments, we've gotta move the secondary entry over to get the proper separation, et cetera. As far as and excuse me if I jump around a lot. So as far as the back portion, I think right now, we counted, it was like 83 units, and, but with the possibility of a pocket park back there, we could take at least 3, if not more, of those units and move them somewhere else to get the total number of units less than 80. We can do that. I haven't drawn it yet, but we can do that. But, and again, I haven't spoken to the owner. That old plan where they had the 2 entries, well, you can see there's, I don't even know what you call it, a little pedestrian walkway right now. If we wanted to improve that and make it a road, well, now we're getting into wetlands and all. So, again, that was me with the owner when he was saying, hey, can we move that entry? Because at one time we showed it, and I was like, look, you don't want to mess with the core and all that. How about we just go with the one entry, the one crossing you already have, improve it with minimal impact to wetlands. So I don't think he wants to go back and add that. I think we can, I'm sure we can just limit to the no more than 80 units off of one drive to the back, okay? Speaking of the aesthetics, if you will, these homes, he's not gonna have them any closer than 34 feet apart, which exceeds even most residential side yard setbacks, for, whatever, R10, R21, et cetera. So even though it looks like, when you look at that drawing, you're like, oh my gosh, look at all the homes. Well, it's just a graphical thing that because of the scale and the size, these homes there's actually a lot of green space in between the homes, okay? We know we've got the 30-foot exterior buffer. We've already drawn that. We know we're gonna add, along certain lines, we're gonna be adding, some fences, trees, shrubs that we talked about. He knows he's got to connect the county water and sewer, to make this happen. Right now, the development's on a private water system and septic tanks. All that's going away. He's gonna be on county water and sewer. The existing, residents there, I don't know for a fact that he has spoken to them, but I'm under the impression that he has notified them or will notify them that, hey, I'm going to be doing this. I'm not kicking you to the curb. Whether he moves their trailer or works with them for a new trailer in another part of the development, he doesn't intend to develop this entire mobile home park as you see at one time.
Right.
This was, we really, when we went to the TRC, we were only thinking we were gonna be re-looking at the PD portion of it, and it was suggested by county staff, rightly so, or whatever. Well, why don't you master plan the whole thing and bring it under one umbrella PD? And that's what prompted the entire. So even though the portion in the southwest corner where there's existing homes, he's not going in and building that first. He's gonna come through, improve the road off of Valdale Road to the back, and he's gonna improve that road, and then whatever lots he can get in there now, and he's gonna start there and work his way forward. Was there?
What's the average square footage of the lots?
Well, the minimum required was like 5,000 square feet, but we were, I don't know. I know it's.
The minimum's 5,000 and you're over that.
Oh.
So it's
much.
basically R6 equivalent.
Sure.
totally opposed to it. What I am opposed to it at one point of ingress and egress across the wet area.
Sure.
And you're talking about safety, but you're only putting one point of getting in there with the fire truck, one point of getting in there with an ambulance.
Yes.
We have another hurricane like we did that blows trees from nowhere close to there and blocks that, and we have fire in there. You've totally blocked off the access with one access. You can have it with two, but you drastically reduce the chances that you are going to have a problem there
Sure.
with only one point of egress.
Sure.
I'm not
And again, that was me
yeah,
with the owner trying to minimize wetland impacts and crossings
yeah.
and stream buffers.
And I understand that, and I understand his safety part of that part, but I see more of a concern with having emergency services blocked off with one point of ingress, egress, with 80-something houses, even if you went with 80 houses. I think it's my opinion, and there's other folks here, but I think you need to look at a second point of ingress and egress there. And that's just my opinion.
That will be discussed with the owner.
I mean, it's gonna be a lot more work to do that, but I'm kinda like Tommy, I feel, you know, you're basically blocking a lot of people off from emergency services if the worst were to happen.
And if this was better and we already been to had all this worked out, and we can make a decision on this now, and we already knew we were going to second point of ingress and egress. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Then we could probably act on it, but if we table right now and he comes up, we're not even gonna get to hear it again. So,
Again, not, well, this was part of the discussion. When I view this development, these aren't individual lots. It's not a subdivision. So I was looking at it, well, it's no different than a detached apartment complex, if you will. So if this were an apartment complex and we had one driveway to the back with an 80-unit apartment building, we do that all the time. But that's just me, looking at it. Oh, there was a question about the road width. So yes, we initially depicted it, but it was discussed at TRC that the pavement section of the road needs to be the county standard, which is 22 feet, the thickness of the base and the asphalt. That was purely a boo-boo on our part. But it doesn't, that little part doesn't change the number of units or whatever. But if you do so, I don't know if I can pull the request for tabling, or I feel like we can make the changes, but you are right. If I go back and make the changes within the next couple of weeks and go to county commissioners, you've had no view of it, so.
we won't even be able to make a recommendation.
It's
And if all
trust
five of them
me,
are sitting out there like they have before, we can look at them and see.
we will make sure there's no more than 80 units off of the one drive in the back.
Then you can make
I
a
mean,
recommendation.
80-85 was the difference.
You can make a recommendation to the regular committee.
Yeah, we agree with that. It's usual.
Sir,
Yes.
these units, mobile homes, correct?
Yes.
With the amount of space, they will only be allowed, not allowed, to have one parking space?
No. Each mobile home will have two parking places.
Two?
Yes.
And that will not be.
However, if they have family over, that's another issue.
Well, that's,
Yeah.
again, one of the things we discussed on Thursday is like the mail kiosk in the pocket parks, if that's what we end up doing, we can put in some additional parking, visitor parking, et cetera. We haven't indicated the pedestrian and bicycle pathways in here to get to the recreation open spaces. We're going to add it, but yes, well, it's like any mobile home park. Most mobile homes only have two parking places, and if they have friends over, I don't know what
Park on
they
the
do.
edge.
Park on the road.
all depicted as essentially single wides, but there's no limit here. I mean, each one of these units could be put in as double wides, or the owner is not intending to limit it to only single wides, is that correct?
I don't know the answer to that question. This depiction is what he told me when we were gonna lay these out. He said our trailers are, what do you call them, trailers? Our homes are
Yeah.
blank wides, 72 feet long.
Most single wides are at least a two-bedroom, if not a three-bedroom. And, in my experience, most mobile home parks are fairly dense with population. So, I mean, you're looking at full families in probably every one of these units. So, I mean, while it looks small, and it is small homes, the density will be quite high. I don't know that you would exactly compare it to an apartment complex, because an apartment complex, the number of beds would be particularly limited. So, would you prefer that we process this with all the limitations and or conditions? I guess, is that what your, is your,
What do you want us to do tonight, Bill, now that you?
Because it sounds like there are a lot of questions that still haven't been answered.
Yeah,
But
I'm
the site
hesitating.
has a
I
lot
haven't
of,
spoken to the owner. I don't know.
yeah, and so you
I
have
can
that.
say, oh yeah, we'll do this all day long, but,
And so you
and
have
I think
that.
he's open to it. He's not, this isn't, he's not a greedy developer, typical whatever, but he hasn't seen these.
Yeah, it sounds like there's still a lot of unanswered questions. You haven't had a chance to confirm or deny anything with the owner.
Correct.
And there's still, the site in and of itself is a flexible space, so there's so many things that can be done to adjust some of these things. But I think it would be nice to have, again, some of these answers before we, go forward with considering. That would be.
So we need to table it. Mr. Kent, can you restate your name and address?
Oh, I'm sorry, Bill Kent, Innovative Engineering and Surveying, 2214 North Patterson Street.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kent. So are we going to vote to table this?
Mr. Chair.
Or let me ask, is there anyone here that would like to speak against this?
No, I want to speak for.
Okay.
I actually thought I was gonna come up here and be against this. John and I were discussing, we drive on Belleville all the time, live on that end of the county. And he said, oh, well, in another community that we lived in, a developer said, oh, we're gonna get rid of those people. And he said, oh, like the little trailer park, they're gonna do what John White did, they're gonna whisk them away. So when I heard that the trailer park is gonna stay there, I'm as happy as could be. That's one of the most affordable communities where people can have a family house for a reasonable amount of money. And the trailers have been being upgraded, and if there were more of them in there, more families could afford housing. I'm 100%. I understand it has to be tabled because the plan isn't really ready yet. It's formative. Next month would be better when the full plan could come, but I'm super happy that this community will get to be bigger.
Ms. Quarterman, will you state your name and,
Gretchen, Quarterman, 6565 Quarterman Road.
thank you. All right. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in opposition of this case? Please go.
Rustin Banner, 3984 Betty's Place. It's not that I'm really in opposition to it. I agree that we need more affordable homes. However, I got notice of this meeting today at 4:55 by a signed letter. Nobody else in the subdivision could be here for this meeting to voice any kind of stuff. So we're behind that. What we would like, as a homeowners association right next door, is to meet with the owner and talk about what we can do to make it better. What we don't want to do is have a bunch of trailers over there and they go to pieces, and then we pay the cost of somebody trying to buy the house and seeing a bunch of junk. Which I don't think he's going to do, but we just want to make sure that's not what's going to happen. So we need some time to get with what we're going to do. We're going to be a privacy fence, something attractive to put up between his barrier and ours, so you just can't see it from our back porch, and they can't see us, that kind of thing. But 80 more trailers or 155, I'm not sure what we put in here. The traffic on Belleville Road is already going to be immensely unattainable with the new shopping center going in down the other direction. It's going to be a mess out there. So we just want to say, great, but we'd like to have a meeting with them and say, what can we do to make this beneficial for both parties? Because homes, it's a pain to try to get something affordable. But yet we don't want to just say, well, we're willing to give up all the stuff we've bought for in order for it to be great for our side. Now, again, I don't want to say that all trailer park people are the same, but, you know, we've got people, there are more people throwing eggs at our houses, from the trailer park. Police reports will show all kinds of stuff with that. Those people have been removed, and it's been better since. We just, common sense is what we ask for.
I suggest you show up to the meeting on March 10th at the county
We'll,
commission.
we're trying to get everybody else to show up there, and I apologize if we couldn't get more people here to talk about their opinions, but, it was just too late now.
Thanks, sir.
Would you repeat your name, please, sir?
Rustin, R-U-S-T-I-N, Binger, B-I-N-G-E-R.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't fill out a form, you need to fill mine out.
Any further opposition?
Didn't know I was gonna stand up.
There being none, we'll close this public hearing. Do we have a motion to table this?
I'll make a motion that we table this.
Okay. And a second from Commissioner
Do you have
Miller.
any comments on that before?
Of course.
I'd just like to say that I'm disappointed that by tabling this, that our group will not have another chance to look at it. In my opinion, this is a very problematic project. So I'm going to vote against tabling, if nothing else. It's just a pyrrhic victory, but I've already said why.
Okay, and I know we have a table and a second, but with a table, we're not saying anything about what our concerns are.
Well, JD asked for that at the beginning. I think we should, JD, you're making notes.
He's got a whole page of them over here.
Yeah, so if you, and it's just a thought process, I'm not saying we're not going to do that, we're in discussion right now, okay? If you table it, we have no, even though he's got notes, there's nothing there that says why we're against it, so to speak. And it's not, and I'm for it, I like the project. I just think that there's so many factors here that if they just up and approve the thing, it's gonna be a major issue with the points of ingress and egress, is all I'm saying. If you, they can still table it when it gets to the commission, but if you deny it based on the list of things that everybody has here, it's nothing changing. I think it'll be a little more to the point as to what our concerns are. If we table it, it's like we table it just to give more without any explanation. You know what I mean? Even though there was concerns. So I've had my say. Go ahead.
Can we table it with a note that states that if we voted now, it would not pass due to the concerns that we have? Or is that
I don't
something
know
we
that,
need to have?
because we haven't taken that vote.
Well,
Who seconded it?
You table it, you table it.
okay, so we have a motion
Yeah, let's vote on
and
that
a
motion.
second. All in favor?
Just table it.
To table. All opposed, I'm sorry.
Then that means we need to.
Denied 5-4.
All right, so then we need to start working it.
I'll make a motion to deny the application as currently presented.
All in favor?